I moved to Vacaville in 1981, which was about the same time the museum came into being. But I didn't really get involved until early 1984. There was an article in the paper recruiting volunteers for the museum. And I wanted to find a way to get more involved in the community, get to meet more people in the community. So I saw the thing in the paper and I thought, well, I loved history. And if I was going to live here the rest of my life, I wanted to know as much about this as home as I had known about my home in Iowa. So I responded to the ad. The museum, of course, wasn't even open yet, although I guess they had a kind of a soft opening of a mini exhibit of the irons, which collection started the whole thing in the first place. And I started helping with the installation of the first official exhibit, Rivers, Railroads, and the Rolling Hills, which opened the museum on the 4th of May in 1984. I do remember hearing that Mrs. Buck, of course, gave us the lot, and she was involved on the committee to put together a museum and said she would give this location. I think it's important to preserve our history, to record our history so we can learn from our history, and history does tend to repeat itself. So I would say it's always important to a younger generation to know what was here before them, why things are the way they are, why streets are named what they are, why do we have an Eleanor Nelson Park, who were these people, what was their contribution to this place we call home. Part of the reason I decided to get involved was I wanted to learn about the history of the area for one thing, and I wanted to meet more people in Vacaville. And I did. I met a lot of really wonderful people. I would say that the majority of my friends to this day are people that I met in volunteering at the museum. And they just, were a great group of people. So yeah, it's been a very rewarding experience for me in a lot of ways, both in personal satisfaction and a feeling of accomplishment, and in the friendships that I have built based on my involvement.
The Vacaville Museum is a unique institution because if you look at the rest of Solano County, there is no museum that is dedicated to the entire history of Solano County as we are. Eva Buck's vision when she decided we needed to have a museum here in Vacaville was that it be named the Vacaville Museum, but dedicated it to the history of the entire county of Solano. And for 40 years, we met that mission. I joke with my volunteers and I joke with my board that Madison Avenue taught us something, and that is the old Oldsmobile commercial. The Oldsmobile commercial had the young woman and her friend, and she said, "It's not your father's Oldsmobile." Well, this is not your father nor your mother's museum any longer. And the second message that I've tried to convey to my board and the volunteers is we would die if we remained a static museum. A static museum is one that puts on an exhibit, which gets a person in the door once or twice a year, and we never see them again. And if they like the exhibit, they may give us a donation, but it doesn't give them a motivation to support the organization. So I've encouraged our board, I've encouraged our volunteers to recognize that we have to be a living institution. We have to make sure that people want to come here, not only to see the marvelous exhibits that we put on, but to see this as a place in the community to come. So if you think about what we've been doing over the last couple of years, we began with a concert series. Our aviation exhibit transitioned into a speaker series. We've been holding community events such as concerts, the 4th of July concert out there where we brought in food trucks to provide you gourmet food as you participated in the museum activities. And we kicked off the present exhibit with a grape stomp where we had literally anybody who wanted to sign up for a 15-minute stint of stomping grapes, just like I Love Lucy. And that brings people here. It teaches people that this is a fun place. It's a place to come. It's not a place just to walk in, see the exhibit, and never come back for 6 to 8 months, because we want them back more frequently. And I think we're being very successful in that effort. I would, as the president of the Board of Trustees, want to thank all those who were before me. 40 years, it's a lot of foundation, it's a lot of shoulders to stand on. And we could not do what we're doing now without that long-term history and effort by those who were before us. And our volunteers, our guild, our generous donors all make this happen. And I hope that as we expand our programming and demonstrate to the city of Vacaville and the other supporters that we have, that we're an important member of the community and a place that everyone will want to come for the next 40 years.
So the current museum, I think, is moving in a direction that is more about the experience than just the knowledge that you can gain from a historical institution. The overall experience is what we want people to walk away with. So we're looking at how our exhibits are engaging in and of themselves. The wine exhibit was a great way to jump off with that in terms of wine being so experiential. So there's layers of it. There's the tasting, there's the history of it, and there's the reason that wine exists to bring people together in a sense, whether it's community-based, religious-based, or just for fun. I think it's something that really brings everyone together. So there has to be a reason to bring people together. And I think people also need that because, well, in the age of social media and cell phones, you would think we're really connected more than ever. In some ways, we're disconnected more than ever. So it's important to give people the opportunity to come in and connect or reconnect with their roots or learn more about the places that they live. I had a board member, I think they put it really well the other day, and I'm going to steal their tagline, I think, because they said that, you know, institutions like ours, whether it's a museum or a library or a science center, it's not so much about the education anymore, it's about the experience. So it's about the experience of the legacy. You know, we want people to come here to experience it, not just learn about it. So it was a combination of those two things, the need within the greater community of having a place to come, and also our ability to then meet that need, and we have that ability. I think the music in the museum has been really exciting and different, and we're looking to always expand that and bring in new artists. It's a really great way to highlight the arts and culture in Solano County through various outlets. So music is a way that a lot of people relate to each other, and it highlights the diversity that is within Solano County. So we've done a lot of classical music, but we've also had a fado artist. We have a bluegrass. We're going to be working with Solano Winds to have jazz and other types of music. And there's just such a big range. And I see how people are so engaged in music, and it's such a small, intimate way to be a part of something. And I think we're really lucky that we've been able to do that. And I'm excited to see where that continues to go. I think that the biggest thing that we're looking at is 4 decades of work is no small feat. I think that a lot of people have come together to make this happen. And our goal is for it to be here for at least another 4 decades, so future generations can enjoy and appreciate and learn and experience Solano County in the way and new ways that we have been able to. So our goal is to be able to start off the next 4 decades on the right foot. And we just ask that people consider what they want the legacy of themselves, of their community, and of their children to be, and if we fit into that. And I think we do.